Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. It is Monday. Happy Monday. I hope you had a restorative weekend. I hope you're doing okay. A lot has happened over the weekend regarding, we know what's happening. All the chaos and confusion. Let me turn my fan down. Sorry for the background noise. It's my fan, guys. Okay, it's hot. It's a hot outside. It's 100 degrees, 102. But anyway, there's a lot going on, and a lot of energies, shifting, a lot of heavy energy. I did talk a lot about this conflict on Monday and what could possibly happen and what will happen. In my channel messages video, I talk more about that, so you can go check that out. I talked to Edgar Casey. For some reason, I felt the need to call him Edward, and then I realized I was doing that. But I corrected myself. Anyway, go check that out. Some very interesting messages there about what's happening, what we're going through as a collective. But anyway, I also talk a lot about my own revelations, my own shifting, and the need to shift because everyone's going through a major shift. And I started this, or rather restarted doing this channel and doing this work after the election, and I felt a huge urge to really finally integrate into my gifts. And the past few weeks I've been feeling like unaligned, that I have to shift into a new way of doing things. It was no longer aligning with my evolution, this shift that, these upgrades that keep happening. So energetically, I had to realign. I have to realign emotionally because I just wasn't feeling it. So I talk a lot about that, and maybe more articulately in my channel messages, but suffice to say that a lot of things will be changing. I mean, you've seen it. I've sort of shifted the focus more to how we can heal, how we can get through this, still answering the questions that you want answered, especially in the Q&A, but really the energy I'm beginning to understand needs to be somewhere else, not seeking control and answers and who's going to do this and what's going to happen with that and this person's going to be this and that. It doesn't matter because we're set. So I need to adapt. I need to refocus, reconnect, which is what I've been doing. And I have to work smarter, not harder. There's just a lot coming towards me personally in terms of this work, a renewal, a reset, is what I am trying to move towards, because I haven't been enjoying this the past few weeks, quite honestly. I noticed when I take a long time to start something, I was recording later and later. I was doing it, I was doing the work, but the past few weeks was not really enjoyable for me, on top of the energy, as a whole. But focusing on certain energies is draining for me now, because my spirit, my intuition tells me that I have to shift. my focus. This is not where you need to be any longer. Okay, so listen, I'm still doing at its core, but I think I know we are in a serious state of being here. Okay, and so I respect you guys who want answers, but I think, I know rather what I'm here to do, and that is to help all of us shift the way we need to. And that means our energy has to be somewhere else. It has to be on our healing. It has to be on how we will be on the other side of this, like I said before. But I am more surefire of it. And I'm excited. And I hope you are excited to completely shift, I hope you are willing to evolve with me and willing to either learn, either affirm how you like to heal and how we could cope through this chaos that we are all experiencing as a collective. Okay? So these things that are happening, I'm not saying they aren't important, but I get the sense and the energy is that we are expelling so much energy with everything, all the news headlines, every little on the social media, every little thing that sort of happens and agitates our focus, shifts away from what we may need to focus on, and it just causes more sort of this energy of impatience, despair, frustration and anger. Our feelings are our feelings. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel a certain way, but I think at this time, it's June, it's almost July now. We have to really we are going through a change. And it's painful, yes, but it's happening whether we want it to or not. And so I'm trying, I would love to share and teach and learn with you guys as to how we could make this process a little bit less daunting, a little bit more calming as much as we can, and less painful. Okay, so there'll be shifts. I've noticed that it really helped me ask the question, okay, why am I feeling this way? I felt like I wasn't progressing, and I wasn't. I felt like I wasn't expanding. And it was affecting the energy, period. Okay, so I'm in it. I'm back in it. I have realigned. I have recommitted to this work, and I'm trying to be less rigid and explore different parts. I'm trying to be who I am. Okay, so be more flexible and less rigid, and explore parts of this work that is different. Okay, explore beyond the headlines, explore beyond someone's actions or decisions or lies. Explore what is really going on, and how we're taking care of ourselves, how we can take care of ourselves, that sort of thing. Okay, so I really want to do that today. And listen, I'm still going to do what's going on for the week, but it's going to be different. Okay, so So before we begin, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say here is for informational purposes only. Everything I say in the comments is alleged, or overall, everything I say here is alleged, okay? Even in the comments. If you want a personal reading, you can click more in the description of this video and the link will be there. Or you could email me, moonlightenergy15@gmail.com. And I will send you the link. Or if you want to email me an article, or if you just want to chat, I will answer. I get a lot of emails, so I will try to answer as soon as I can. So if you haven't heard from me, if I didn't get a response, I'm not ignoring you. It's just a lot happening. Okay. Also, I haven't gotten any links to small businesses in a long time, or podcasts or YouTube you want me to promote. I will do that. Just send me an email with the link in the description. Okay. All right. Okay. What else? I think that was it. We can begin. So what I want to explore is the spiritual state of our nation. Okay. And where I see what's unfolding in America. Okay, so more so looking into the soul of America and what's happening here, what's happening right now. Okay, through pulling cards and asking questions and exploring how we could stay grounded in this chaos. To explore what spirit is showing us through this chaos. Okay. And so I would love to do that. And I think what I would like to do first, before we get into our poll, let's just do an energy check. Okay. So I'm going to just keep this candle lit. I'm going to do an energy check. I want to talk about what I sense in the energy in the collective. And so what I want you to do, take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth very slowly, like you're blowing a bubble. And you're going to do an energy check on yourself. Okay, so that's what I want you to do for the next 10 seconds. Maybe some of you are feeling anxious, angry, upset, disillusioned, powerless even, scared, afraid, disgusted, but I feel, what I sense in the energy for the collective is a lot of anxiety, confusion, a lot of panic even. People are saying, oh, well, here we are, World War III. I don't necessarily see that, and I'm not sure if we can call what is happening a war exactly. Not out of the realm of possibility, but I honestly don't see that. I don't see that. But it is dangerous nonetheless. It is a conflict. But just everything that it has been culminating currently right now with the collective, I do feel those things. Okay. Not apathy, which is good. Underneath that energy, subconsciously, I feel the push, like in the channel messages. I understand what that means now. It's like, it's like the shift a bigger shift is occurring now as we move through the summer. And old ideas, old beliefs, old understandings are slowly beginning to shift. And with that, though, there's resistance, even on I think especially on a subconscious level. We're kind of afraid of, is a lot of things are uncertain. It feels very uncertain. And that's okay. I think we have to surrender to the uncertainty, and we have to turn inward. Okay? And I have to do that. I have to do that too. Because if we don't, it could be very harming emotionally for us. Okay? So that is the printer. Someone print it to my printer. Sorry for that abrupt noise. Let me turn this off. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so let's see with all this energy, and I'm gonna blow this out. Let's see what Spirit is showing us. I did a weekly reading, but let's go even more in depth, okay? Because there's a lot of activity energetically with what happened over the weekend. And so let's look at that. Okay. I'm going to put this to the side. I see a lot of people also using humor to get through this craziness. I see it a lot. You know, people, it's kind of not funny, but I get, the use of humor in stressful situations could be, it's a positive response to stress, which is good. People joking that, we're going to, it's going to be my fit if I have to go into war and, stuff like that. But there's, definitely an undercurrent of questioning, how did we get here? That's a good question. How did we get here? Okay. So let's take a look at how we can anchor clarity and divine order amidst this chaos. Let's look deeper. Please show me. Anchoring clarity and divine order amidst this chaos. Please show me. Spirit showing me. Page of Wands. The Star, very nice. Trusting your inner guidance. Going out your comfort zone. You know, being comfortable enough to hope and have faith. The Lovers. So far, 2 major cards. We are at a crossroads as a collective, and the Lovers does also come up, okay? And so we have 2 choices presented to us. Spirit is saying. 6 of Wands. Knight of Wands. Four of Pentacles. Queen of Cups is on top there. Ultimate, please. What can we ultimately do? Nine of Pentacles wants to come out. Knight of Cups. Nine of Pentacles is there. Ten of Cups. Okay. It's interesting because one would think I feel underneath the anxiety and underneath the fear here, Spirit is always showing me that there's this energy that I will always talk about. It's this energy underneath that we're standing on that is not a lot of people are maybe not connected to it, you know, not yet, but it's there propelling us. It's a present. And so what Spirit is telling me about these cards is that we have to let go. We have to let go of something with the Four of Pentacles here, okay? Again, I talked a lot about surrender during the channel messages, and I think that is a part of it. Okay, and so to anchor ourselves, anchoring clarity in divine order amidst the chaos, is realizing it's about being brave enough here to trust your inner guidance. Spirit is telling me with the Page of Wands, throwing the staff up into the air, and the star here is about hope, faith, prayer, trusting your inner guidance, okay? Knowing things will be okay. So I get the sense a lot of us are too afraid to even hope. You know? The idea of it now, because the energy of what we are seeing, what we're being shown and what is being done, is smothering, like I said before. And so it's even to the point for some people, I think, that their light is smothered. Look at the star here with this light. And what Spirit is saying here with these two cards, being brave enough to really trust that things will be okay. Praying, meditating, okay. having faith. Not feeling like you are hopeless, okay. Star is a card of hope and healing. And so that's how you could gain clarity. Okay, that's how you could really anchor yourself to your faith. I've talked about this before. And there's something also about, in these cards, about freedom. Having a choice. Understanding what your choice is. The Knight of Cups is on top, and the Four of Pentacles is on the bottom here. And the Lovers is in between these two cards. And the Lovers is about, part of the Lovers is about choices. You know, you have two choices presented to you, and you have to make the choice. It's like choosing how you respond. Do you want to keep holding on to the thing that may make you feel unwell? You know, the fear and the panic and maybe the obsession, or do you want to let that go? Okay. Do you want to let that go and to dream something else with the Knight of Cups? Do you want to let go of emotional turmoil? Do you want to have emotional sensitivity and stability, empathy, compassion, you know, a willingness to connect with others, recognizing you are not alone in your turmoil, and there's a way to really, but you have to let go of, let's see what that is. What needs to be let go? What needs to be let go? Look at that. 5 of Pentacles. The feeling of isolation. Saying we're isolated. Saying we're victims. Feeling like we've lost everything. Feeling bankrupt emotionally, spiritually. We have to let that go because Spirit is saying that's not true. You're saying there's lessons in this, there's healing in this. You could have faith. That's how you can anchor yourself. That's how you can anchor clarity. That's crazy. That's amazing, actually. Okay, and so if you make that choice to release this idea here that all hope is lost, everything is, that makes us despair, and that makes us irrational, and it makes us sort of float up into the atmosphere, and not ground ourselves, which is what we need. That's why all those pentacles constantly comes out when I read on this situation. Okay, because we have to be grounded. We have to be, in order to get towards clarity, we have to be first unmovable, unshakable. Okay, but this, the 6 of Wands is about confidence. It's about determination. Okay. It's about success. It's about victory. Feeling victorious as opposed to feeling like you've lost everything. Feeling like, leaning into support, leaning into people who, leaning into a more positive aspect, or I know it's hard to find something positive in this, but there are. But this is about support also here. From isolation to support. From being alone, thinking you're alone, having that core belief, that we've lost everything. It's time to let that go, Spirit is saying. So we could move into the 6 of Wands energy is like, people are cheering you on and supporting you and relating to what, even the same emotions, but there's a confidence that builds from, surrendering and letting go of this. This is old. This doesn't serve us. Okay, this is about courage, stepping out of your comfort zone, our emotions, having compassion and empathy for yourself. Those are, we have to get, deal with this energy, the 5 of Pentacles here, in order to gain clarity. Because our emotions, they can trip us up. Okay. Increase in, believing that it's okay to hope. You could step outside your comfort zone. You could be determined to not let this bowl you over. Okay. Interestingly enough, it's like it doesn't feel It doesn't feel like what am I trying to say? There's chaos, yes, externally. You know, and there are a lot of people that's just par for the course, and I'm not dismissing it. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't feel, behind this chaos, it doesn't feel like chaos, if that makes sense, as to what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's look at what will the collective look like on the other side of this conflict? Let's try to explore that. The sun is on the bottom. Yeah, that's, yep, yeah. Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Cups. The Fool. Ace of Pentacles. How we will be on the other side of this conflict as a U.S. collective. The Sun. Clear, okay, clarity, abundance, harmony, happy. Nine of Wands. A little bruised and battered, but resilient, strong, willing to continue on, move forward like we need to, okay? The wheel turning here. Well, Fortune is also a card of karma, okay? And the wheel turning, transformed. 1, 2, 3, 4 major cards. With strength, resilience, and balance and harmony coming out from the darkness, okay? And the Nine of Wands is about, that's the light that's carrying you. This is what we walk into. We keep going, we keep pushing, okay? And you have new beginnings here with the Fool, the courageousness, the road being paved clear for us to move forward. We have the Ace of Pentacles here, Death on top, the wheel, the wheels turn. As we go through this this is like this is transformation, because you have the wheel in the middle of this, and the Ace of Pentacles, this new opportunity, these opportunities for growth and expansion, and the groundedness we need to be in, all of us, me included. And the Death card, complete transformation. Okay. Transition, letting go of things that no longer serve us. Ending of situations, ending of huge change for new beginnings here. New beginnings. At the last card, the Fool. Endings and beginnings. Isn't that crazy? Cleansing, renewal. Nine of Cups here. Nine of Cups is about contentment, satisfaction. Again, the question was how we will be on the other side. Contentment of this conflict. Contentment, satisfaction. Being able to finally release that breath we're all holding. Okay. Remember this. All right, so what do we need to do in order to get to the other side? What does the U.S. collective need to do? Okay. Eight of Pentacles. What we need to do to get to the other side. Focus. Work hard on whatever it is well, let me pull other cards first. But I get what Spirit is telling me here. Strength is on the bottom. That is our card. Strength, Hermit, Two of Cups, the Moon. Let's see what's here. Four of Wands. Two of Swords, the Magician. Knight of Cups again. Seven of Wands. will help us the most? What would help us the most? Knight of Swords. We have to, there's a thing here about strength, power, and expansion. It's about focusing on, a lot of us have a lot of wants, or those of us who are on a spiritual journey, or suspecting that you're on a spiritual journey, or just living life, we before all of this happened, and even now, we had a lot of things we wanted to do with our lives. We had a lot of goals. We had a lot of wants and desires, needs. And so what Spirit is saying, that what we need to do to get to the other side is we have to refocus. We have to, some of us have to build a routine for ourselves. 8 of Pentacles is really about expansion, expanding on your skills, expanding on your knowledge, expanding on, to grow. And to get to a space of anchoring ourselves, grounding ourselves, getting to the other side, which looks pretty great. We will get there. It takes work in between all of that. So whatever, really, I want you to ask yourself, what is the work that you need to do in order to get to the sun? We always get the sun, and so for me, I'll share, like, being more disciplined when it comes to my spiritual practice, being more willing to explore things I may be afraid of exploring, being more structured when it comes to my spiritual practice, those sort of things, in order to expand, being dialed in all the time, as opposed to saying, like, I don't want to be dialed in. So think about that. It doesn't have to necessarily be something spiritual. It could be something that keeps you well, that maybe you have fallen off on doing because things are chaotic externally, but you feel it. I get the sense here that we feel, well, I need to go back to this, or I have to do this, I have to go to sleep at this time, I have to wake up at this time, I have to keep a schedule, those sort of things that help us expand, that help us grow. So that's part of it. And recognizing, we could really carry a lot. And the Strength card, which is a major card, is about recognizing and also utilizing your inner and outer resources, recognizing that you can get through a lot that life throws at you. It's about resilience, just like the 9 of Wands came out on the other side. It is a card of resilience, so always recognizing that we have a lot of strength. Here, this 4 of Wands is about balance. It's about harmony, but really, I'm looking at the 7 of Wands on top here and the Knight of Cups here, and having the balance between finding your voice, finding your strength. A lot of us may need to do that. As a collective, we have to stand our ground. That's what the 7 of Wands is about. But there needs to be a balance, Spirit is saying here. A balance between our emotional sensitivity, our compassion and empathy, and our finding our voice again, speaking up, okay? Taking action, you know, finding our balance here. Celebrating the Four of Wands also. It doesn't, we don't have to stop our lives. It doesn't always have to be bleak. You know, go out, explore, live your lives, like I said before. Okay, and the Two of Swords here. And the Magician. And the Magician, one of the messages my spirit guides, spirits I've channeled, the energy, things that I just know also, we have the power. People are so powerful. We forget that a lot. You know, we've forgotten, or we're blind to it. And with the Two of Swords here, the Two of Swords really encourages you to recognize that you kind of have to snap out of some sort of denial, okay? The limitations that we are placing on ourselves, saying that, you know, it's about conflicting emotions. It's about I always get distracted. It's about conflicting emotions. Also being at a crossroad. You have a choice to make here. And it's about our power. It's about our intelligence. It's about opening up to the complete belief and idea that we have so much power. Everything we need, we have. Like Edgar Cayce said, we all have to be on the same accord in order for the power to fully work. And so what Spirit here is saying, in order for us to get to that other side, we have to work on our expansion. We have to work on building routine and discipline, and going back to what makes us well, going back to what works, picking up our goals again. We have to recognize how strong we are as a collective, as an individual. We have to find balance and harmony. We have to find our voice again. We have to find the balance between our emotional sensitivity, taking action, asserting ourselves, saying no. This is who we are. This is what we want. Okay, and recognizing we have to make a choice here. Okay, and with the Knight of Swords here, it's about decisive action. Okay, quick thinking, clarity, to a little bit impulsiveness, intelligence, speed, courage, determination. That's what we need to have. Searching for the truth, turning away from, getting lost in the news and headlines, and who said this and what is happening here, and focusing more on, I need to move. And listen, I know a lot of people's lives are affected. Okay, I'm not trying to promote negative positivity. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are things we have to do, we have to recognize, we have to surrender to, we have to really take care of ourselves, because this energy, we're being prepared underneath all of it. Focused energy is what we need. That's assertive and intelligent. More, more protests, more organizing, sharing of resources. Okay, so those are the things we have to do as a collective to get to the other side. And we will. We absolutely will. Okay. What is the I don't think I pulled. What is the archetype for our collective energy for this week? Let's see. Because energy has shifted in the 2 days that I've done a reading. So let's see. Child Divine is on the bottom. Child Orphan. Let's see here. See that? Child Orphan, it says dependence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Listen. Let's expand on that. Child Orphan. Interesting. Okay, here we go. All right, so it says best known pattern in many fairy tales reflects feeling that you aren't a part of your family or tribal spirit, helps develop psychic independence based on personal judgment and experiences early in life. Okay. Evaluate your childhood memories, particularly in your painful history. It arises from the feeling that you were never accepted as a family member. Okay. Some of you may be like, what does that mean? I feel like a lot of you won't though. How we respond to crises, it stems from your experiences. It really does. Okay, so let's end here, right at the hour mark. I hope this resonated with you. You can like the video. You can let me know what you think. But we are really gonna be okay. It's a matter of you asking yourself, how can I expand to cope through this? What do I need? Think about what you need, okay? We're here to shift this. When you think about revolution, when you think about how changes we never thought would ever happen has happened because of collective energy, and how we shifted is happening. And I want us to remember that. Okay? That's all I got. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing, I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I'm sure what I'll be doing, but I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Please like the video. Ask yourselves those questions, what you need. Okay? And enjoy the rest of your week, for those of you who are just watching today. But I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.